Well, Democrats made their decision, and they decided to elect this individual as the DNC chair.
It is my honor now to present the gavel, the next chair of the Democratic National Committee, to Mr. Tom Perez. Mr. Perez, congratulations.
Even though this isn't surprising at all, it's still just jarring that we have the main opposition to Donald Trump being this ignorant, shunning progressives for a second time in a year by choosing Tom Perez. What a joke. They don't want to change. And Sam Ronan got 0 votes, and Keith Ellison got 200 votes. Again, I don't know what they're expecting. Do you expect us to unite behind someone who was in support of the TPP? It makes no sense to me why they would go with this. How dense is every single member within the DNC that voted for Tom Perez? It's just ridiculous to me. How could you do this to progressives? And, it was this whole speech that they gave was so patronizing, because what they then did to kind of pat progressives on the head was he decided to make Keith Ellison deputy DNC.
I would like to begin by making a motion. It's a motion that I have discussed with a good friend, and his name is Keith Ellison. And the motion I would like to make to the body is a motion suspending the rules, if I may, to appoint Keith Ellison deputy chair of the Democratic National Committee.
Now, let's be clear here what they're doing by making Keith Ellison the deputy DNC chair. They're just patting us on the head. Like I said, Tulsi Gabbard was, I think, the deputy DNC chair, and she had no say. Debbie Wasserman Schultz literally disinvited her from Democratic debates when she dared to speak out about the limited number of debates. So Keith Ellison has no power in this position. Come on, let's be real here. He has no power. So the party does not want unity. They do not want progressives to ever get control. And this confirms it yet again. So, to me, I don't even know what to say about this. This is kind of just my initial reaction of me finding out the news. I'm still speechless. Again, this isn't surprising, but at the same time, I'm still shocked that they're this stupid and arrogant to think that they can shun progressives again and have the audacity to claim that now is the time to unite. Now is the time to go forward and take on Donald Trump.
Now we must be moving forward together. We must leave this meeting united. Our country, our democracy demands it.
I had this really sinking feeling in my gut, not necessarily because Tom Perez was the chair and that's dangerous, but because now I know that the Republicans will be powerful, more powerful than ever before. This basically secures that they will be victorious in 2018, and it made me sick to my stomach knowing that the person who is going to be taking on Donald Trump, the leader of the Democratic Party, the main opposition to Republicans, is someone who can't even answer questions from reporters, who runs away from reporters, who got a little bit of criticism because he dared to tell the truth about the rigged primary, but then said he misspoke. This person is going to be in charge of taking on Donald Trump. Look, the establishment, the status quo, they tried to take on Donald Trump once and they lost because they had no real message for progressives, for working class voters, and now you're doing that again. This is 2016 2.0. You are putting forth an establishment figure and expecting him to appeal to people when he's so out of touch. I have no words. I'm sure that I will prepare a segment for the show on next week's episode with probably a more coherent analysis and what the implications of this will be. But just for now, this is my initial reactions. And wow, what a disappointment. I mean, again, for the third time, I'm saying this. This isn't surprising because I kind of had a feeling that they would go in this direction. But I mean, come on. How stupid do you have to be to go with someone that is divisive? I mean, For one, for Sam Rona to not even get a single vote after we've been making calls for him, I find that insulting. And then for Keith Ellison, the person who wasn't even that progressive, but someone who I think would have been adequate in the position, they didn't even go with Keith Ellison. It's amazing to me. The party does not want to change. They don't want to embrace progressives, and this proves it right here. So I don't know what the next steps will be. We challenged incumbent Democrats still, but now this is dangerous. I don't trust that the races will be fair with Tom Perez. Progressives don't trust the establishment, so this is not how you rebuild trust. And you put someone up that won't acknowledge that the primary was rigged in 2016. If you want to learn from your mistakes, you have to admit that there were mistakes to begin with. So, that's all I have to say about the situation. Shame on every single person that voted for Tom Perez in the DNC, because you are shunning progressives for the second time in a year, and you have just the gall to claim that now we need to unite. Not at all. That's not going to happen. The party will not unite behind the establishment. We've shown you that we will not unite behind the establishment before, and if you think it's going to happen again, it's not.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.